We are live on YouTube, just like that. Just like that. Hello, good
Yay!
morning. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, everyone. Happy Sunday,
Happy
Lucas.
Sunday. I'm gonna while we're getting set up here, I'm going to get this link shared out. I'm really excited for today, especially with the dream I had last night. It's going to be a great day, and I think people are going to get a lot of good info out of this.
Yes, absolutely. Because what we're doing today is we're talking about awareness and the power of awareness. And we're going to explore a little bit on how to guard your mind from toxic energy, but also how to be more present, how to allow more of your soul to be present, because that's a beautiful place to be in. And that's where we want you all to be in today. So that is what we're exploring today.
It's awesome. I'm excited. And we got people starting to join. And if you are watching, make sure jump into the chat here on YouTube and ask questions, talk to us, let us know you're watching, where you're watching from. We love hearing from those that are watching.
From everyone that are here and present today. We love you.
Yes. So, okay, this is the last share, and then
and then you'll be present here,
and
right?
then I will be present. There we go. We shared it out. I think Greater has the links. So this topic is so needed right now. It's so needed. It seems like everywhere we turn, I have had everyone I was sharing with Gordana, and I want to share with you all this morning or today or whenever you're watching this. I had this dream last night, and it was wild. I was traveling in time, and there was like a timeline going backwards and a timeline going forwards. And I was standing in the middle of this timeline, and I felt people that I loved or cared about on two different of these timelines. I felt them. I could pick them out, like, oh, there's that person. Oh, I really liked that person. Oh, there. And then I woke up. I don't know what time it was because it was dark. It was in the middle of the night. And I woke up, but I was still in my dream. And I heard people are about to get a lesson on the karmic law. Wow. And I was like,
okay.
Oh, people are about to get the lesson on the karmic law. What does this mean? And then you hear we're talking about awareness. And this is no accident that we're talking about this today. And karma has been, like any good teaching, has been cartoonized, or religion and narrative and twisted, has taken all these things, but it's simply what we put out, we get back. It's just as simple as that. What we put out, we get back. And the Bible says, whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap, meaning whatever we're reaping right now, it's a direct result of what we've sown. Or karma says, what you put out into the world, you will get in return. And talk about awareness. And here we are talking about awareness. And I think the two flows, I felt like these two timelines, like people are in these currents and they're not sure how maybe they even got in them in the first place or where they're even going. But to stand outside that current takes awareness. So anyway, this is why I'm so glad we're starting off today with this.
Yes, it's so beautiful because it's actually not about what people believe, because we can believe in different things. We can have totally opposite belief systems. It's about where this belief is rooted. That is where karma comes in. If it's rooted in love, or the belief that is there and it is rooted in love, then the karma will be that you will get more love back, regardless of what the belief is. Human beings tend to focus so much on the words and the belief itself that they don't look at, where does this belief come from? Is it coming from ego, or does it come from soul? Is it the truth, or is it some twisted thing that the ego has put in front of you? And if you understand where this belief comes from, and you can you can still believe what you believe, but you allow it to come from your heart and from love,
Yes.
then it doesn't matter what you believe in. It doesn't matter what I believe in. We can share our beliefs. We can actually expand our universes by looking at each other's belief systems,
Yes.
as long as they come from a place of love.
Yes.
That's the only thing. It doesn't matter if we have different beliefs. What matters is that it comes from love. And it can only come from love when we are fully present in ourselves. And this is why awareness is such an important thing, because where you put your awareness, your energy will flow. And that's the reality that you are creating for yourself and for others. So becoming utterly aware of, am I aware? Am I present? Am I awake? For me, I have started to ask myself this question all the time. Am I awake? Or where is my mind now? To ask myself, because my mind can run away with me. It can just, you know how it is. The mind starts, you can't stop it.
Yeah.
And if I am not present, the mind will take me on a journey that I might not want. So I have to ask myself, where is my mind right now? It's like, having a puppy at home and trying to find it in my apartment. Where is my puppy right now? Where is my mind right now? It's the same thing. And when I find my mind, I have to ask myself, is this what I want to explore? Is this where I want to dwell? Is this the energy that I want to put out there? And if it's not, then I have to stop, find the silence, and restart myself again. And this is what we're doing. We are forced to restart ourselves all the time right now, because there is a push from the outside. As you say, there is a karmic law working right now, showing us where we need to be. It is like awakening the Christ consciousness within us, or the higher self, or the force, or God, or whatever we want to call it. It's about becoming more aware of that consciousness.
Right.
And that's what I think we're pushed into this, regardless of if we want it or not. We have to do it right now. So that's the karmic stuff that you were dreaming about, I think.
Yeah, I think that's right. And as you're sharing that, there's two parts of the golden rule. And I wish, I mean, it's a nice marketing label for this. I host a podcast called The Golden Rule Revolution, that I thought it's revolutionary to live the golden rule. But there's two parts to this. What many are easily quoting when you think of the golden rule is, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, which is a pushing, which is a energy expansiveness. But the other side of the golden rule is that which you deem hateful unto yourself, do not do unto another. So that creates a space of receiving instead of going forward and getting that same pressure back. There's a stepping back and actually surrendering in that moment and allowing that space to come in. And I think there's a famous rabbi that asked, have you ever seen a bird fly with one wing? And the answer is no. And he said, exactly. It takes both wings to create that tension, and the tension is the lift. And I think with this topic and talking about awareness, we always get to live in two wings. We always get to live in a consciously, am I doing what I would want done to me? And am I not doing unto another what I would not want done to me? And that space creates our now moment of listening, feeling, watching, being. But when people are so caught up in just doing what the media says, doing what the good leader says, doing whatever their friends say, I don't know, it could be anyone, it could be doing what their parents say, but they don't have that other wing to counterbalance. They get stuck in this cycle.
Yeah, it's like understanding, or I want to share a story that Gregor told me this morning, because it fits so right into what you're talking about. You're talking about the expansion and feeling the generosity that is a born part of you, inherent part of you, the generosity, which means sharing of yourself with others, with the world. So while he was doing the tweet for this Sunday live, he loves dolphins, so he used dolphins today again, and he was looking for pictures and movies of dolphins, and he found lots of them in the ocean, and the dolphins were
Mhm.
swimming. They were creative, curious, joyful. You know how the dolphins
Yeah.
move. There's an
Yeah.
enormous force in their movement, and they're joyful and intelligent at the same time. And then
Yes.
he found a couple of movies where the dolphins were in a big aquarium, but yet they were not swimming the same way. There was a dullness over them.
Mhm.
They looked tired. They
Yes.
swam together, but there wasn't the joy, the force, the life force going through them. And
Right.
it's the same thing with us. If there are too many restrictions on the outside and we follow all the restrictions that are there, all the boxes, all the stuff that is put upon us, then we become like the dolphins in the great aquarium. It's a
Yeah.
big aquarium, but there are limits. There is no force where you can explore things unconditionally. There's always conditions
Right.
for your exploration. And it's like flying with one wing at that time.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So I love the way he shared it with me. He said, I don't want to be pulling the frequency down, but I found two movies of the dolphins where they were actually swimming in an aquarium, and it looks nice from the outside. But when you start thinking about it, there is no joy in it. Something's missing. And these are intelligent animals or beings. I
Yes.
want to call
Yes.
them
Hyper
beings,
intelligent. Yes.
hyper intelligent beings, but they're also kind and trusting. And there is a innocence over them, and they
It-
are locked into this beautiful aquarium, but they're robbed of their freedom and life, and that's why they're dull. They're not
Mhm.
exploring the ocean the way they're supposed to explore the ocean. We are
Right.
born into an ocean where we are supposed to explore the ocean
Mm.
and to be generous with ourselves so that others can feel the sharing around us,
Yes.
and
Yes.
trust that it is okay to be free and enjoy
Yeah.
life.
Yes. This this book, it's called Ideas Have Consequences by
Mhm.
Richard Weaver, radically changed my life.
Mm.
And I mean, I have so many things underlined in this, like
I love
uh,
that kind of books,
oh,
underlined all over the
the
place.
whole
Yeah,
thing is just underlined. And
yeah.
like this line, I just turned to this. The truth is, as we have already seen, that our surrender to irrationality has been in progress for a long time, and we witness today a breakdown of communication not only between nations and groups within nations, but also between successive generations.
Mm.
And this book is so brilliant. This guy was a professor at University of Chicago,
Mm.
lived in the early 1900s, and he talked about why it was so radically life-changing for me is an idea has a consequence. And he said, whatever ideas we get to explore all ideas. And if we don't take that idea out to its furthest extent, meaning whatever idea I have of the world, if what would the world look like if I applied this to every person on this planet?
Mm.
What would that look like? And the very thought of me applying it to every person on this world would indicate that I would be okay with another applying their idea
Mm.
on every person on this in this world.
Mm.
And if I would not be okay with someone else's idea being applied to every other person on this world,
Mm.
then I shouldn't be okay with applying
Mm.
my idea. I mean, it's like, or I mean, maybe you would, maybe you wouldn't, but this book was like, take it out to its furthest extent.
Mm.
Ideas have consequences. And we're talking
Absolutely.
about awareness, and I'm like, boy.
Mm. You know, it's really about one word here, applying.
Hmm.
You cannot apply anything on anyone. You can inspire them, you can show them your idea, you can say, what do you think? Does this fit you? And allow them to have space to say, no, I don't think that. Or, yes, that's a good idea, I'll try it. But free will, there is a free will thing. And if you try to apply it, then you are negating the
Yes.
free will of that other person. And you have not that power. That creates karmic law.
Yes,
That creates karma
that's
within
right.
you.
That's right. That's what that dream
So
was. Like,
applying,
oh,
yes,
so
yes, applying does not exist actually. You can apply it to something that is not
mhm.
sentient, but you cannot apply anything on anything that is sentient. You can inspire, show, maybe tell about it, but you cannot apply it without the other person saying, yes, that sounds like a good idea. So you have to listen to what they have to say. Your idea can be a beautiful idea, but if everyone says no, you can't apply it on
Yes.
them because they're saying no. You have to respect the free will. We are in that zone where free will actually exists, which
Yes.
means that it needs to be respected. Otherwise, we are breaking something. We are breaking something that will create karma. It's a very simple concept. It can become very, very intricate and hard to understand if you go into the details. But if you lift it to its essence,
Yes.
applying something is not, you can't do that.
Right. That's right.
It's morally wrong to do that.
It's so interesting now that you're talking about dolphins and applying. It's
Mm.
the dolphin in the aquarium is the same dolphin in the ocean. The
Mm-hmm.
difference is the container in which it exists.
Yes.
And perhaps, I mean, this is just all hypothetical, but perhaps the dolphin who didn't maintain its awareness was the dolphin that got captured. Let's just say this for the sake of argument.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's the
Mm-hmm.
case. I don't know how dolphins get into aquariums. I don't know if they're born and I have no idea. But let's just say that the dolphin who didn't keep its awareness was captured and put into the aquarium. And even though it is still a dolphin, it's dulled. It's all the visceral vibrancy of the dolphin, the joy, the effervescence, the power that they're so protective. They defend so many things. I mean, they are really
Even human
courageous.
beings,
Oh,
yes.
they're so amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like maybe that's what's happening right now is there's those that are not aware right now are getting captured by people who want to put them in an aquarium perhaps, or people that are, there's the conscious beings like you taught me early on when we started working together. There are those that are asleep. There are those that awaken into the dream, and then there are those that choose to awaken into the nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
And that tells me there's three sets of people. Really, there's just the unawakened, then there's the intentional awakened, and maybe the intentional nightmare people are creating the aquarium for
I
the
think,
unconscious.
yeah, well, I don't actually know if that is how it works. I think that we all have a choice in the now moment, and the only way to make that choice is to be present and aware of the choices. So those who are not aware of the choices are actually the ones that are asleep. Then there are those who are aware of the choices but do not understand that they need to pick the brightest choice. They walk into the darker choice. That doesn't mean that they're mean or evil per definition. It's just that they do not understand the choice they have. My father was one of those people. He did not understand how to choose the brightness because he believed in the darkness more than he believed in the brightness. And that's so the ones who do not see the choices, the ones that are actually driven into the aquarium, is the people who are not awake. They're asleep to their own awareness, which is their own power. Because if you are aware, then you see the choice and you can make the choice. So that's a simplified version of the consciousness levels that we have right now going on. But you know what? This is so actually it's very easy because all you need to do is to sit in the silence and feel the presence within you. That is all that is needed. You need to feel the presence within you and then be willing to allow that presence, which is your higher self, to explore this world. If you feel that you're pulled into worry or negative stuff, then it is the ego pulling you, and you need to pull back again to the stillness. It's a
Mm,
practice. And the more you practice it, the easier it becomes for you to stay awake, or at least to stay awake for longer periods of time,
right.
so that you will know what your true choice is. Whatever you choose is right, because that is on your life path, but just becoming aware of the choice. Because if we are not awake, if we are not allowing that presence to go through us, our life slips between our fingers. We're not aware. It becomes lost. We lose our life. We lose the presence here that we have been given,
Right.
because we are asleep, and we do not remember what we dream of if we are asleep here.
Mm. Well, the byline to today's live is how to guard your mind from toxic energy. And this morning I was like, what I know what toxic is, poisonous, but what does the dictionary say of it? And Merriam-Webster's dictionary says containing or being poisonous material, especially when capable of causing death or serious debilitation. And I thought,
Mm.
what if I replace material with energy? Containing or
Mhm.
being poisonous energy,
Mhm.
especially when capable of causing death or serious debilitation. That's toxic.
Well,
And yeah,
yeah,
go. Sorry.
that well, no, but that the toxicity in it is something that pulls you away from your present moment. Anything that pulls you out of presence is the toxic energy.
Mm,
Anything that pulls you out of your presence. So being present means that you will see the world clearly, and you will know how to act accordingly.
right.
But if you're pulled away, let's say that you're pulled away by fear. I'm not talking about, the bear standing in the doorway. I'm talking about news or something else that stresses you out. This is literally like a sleeping pill. It
Mm,
You fall asleep to who you truly are. So you need to be the one waking yourself up all the time. And you need to ask yourself the question, where is my mind right now? Am I present? Am I awake? If I would ask you, are you awake right now, Lucas?
mm.
Are you awake?
I am awake. Yes. I am awake. One time I was not
Yeah,
awake.
yeah, I know. But it's the same thing about this, or not the same, but we can be asleep for longer periods of time. And then we enter a place in our life where we feel like, oh, I understand so much more now. I know more about life. I am truly present all the time.
Mm,
But we fall asleep there too. Maybe
yeah.
not for longer periods of time, but we fall asleep. Anytime you feel anger, anytime you feel like, oh, why are they doing this? Or you're judging someone, sleep.
Yes.
So you need to get back in alignment and say, what am I looking at here? Let's say that I'm judging someone. I have to ask myself the question, am I really seeing that person? Or
Mm,
am I exploring thoughts, my thoughts about that person, which
mm,
has nothing to do with that person and everything to do with me, because they're my thoughts. They're my interpretation. I can
mm,
never, ever know the person fully. The only way I can know that person fully is to connect to the soul on a soul level with that person, because everyone has a soul here. And if
right.
I can connect to that soul level, I can say, I know that that person is light. I can't see the light right now because the actions that person is doing are not allowing me to see through ego's surface. But I
Mm,
know that there is a soul in there. And that can help me to not judge as much, maybe pull back a little bit.
right.
But I need to ask myself, am I seeing that person, or am I seeing my thoughts about that person?
That's so good. It's so
So you need to be awake all the time, or wake yourself up all the time. I fall asleep all the time, and I consider myself being a person who is maybe more aware many people, but yet I fall asleep all the time, and I think we all do. It's not a question of, waking up and staying in that light and awake. I would probably say that means that you're dead.
Yeah.
If you're always staying in that light, because it cannot be, it's impossible to feel that on earth in this polarity.
Yes.
To be present means to be aware of that you have a choice to make in this human form. As a spirit, you might say, I don't want to make any of these choices because that's not my business here. Right. But you are in a physical body, in this physical world, and you need to make choices. That is why you're here. You're learning things here. So you need to make choices, but to be aware of your own presence and your soul presence will always help you make the brightest choices.
Right.
So
I wish I could survey the world. I really do, on what they think is going to happen from their actions and beliefs right now. Like, you're talking about awake and falling asleep, and I think right now, and I'm just going to share, I don't know if this triggers people, I hope not, it's just what I've been dealing with, but I have family members, and we have family friends, they passed, but Holocaust survivors. And one man, Gene, he showed me the numbers tattooed on his arms. And he told me one time in New Orleans at a wedding, he said, when you reduce someone to mere numbers, you've erased their humanity. And I've never, ever forgotten. It was like that got branded into my soul. Like, yes, he said, we cease to be hair color and eye color and memories and personality. If we take a number, we are no longer human. And maybe because that was so dramatic and this man was so wise and he had lived through so much and I was aware of this, but I have been consciously exploring this energy of, I see this, take this number mentality in business and corporations. You're a number, you're a data, you're a title, you're a binary data point. It could be anything. And then there's this other side of humanity. It's like beauty and nature and art. We talk about art so much, like art and music and creation, and the numbers in creation may exist at the highest level, the Fibonacci sequence, or perhaps even a higher level. But at this low level, they are like diametrically opposed in this way. And maybe we need to get to this place in humanity to say both are okay. Allow the exploration of whatever you want to explore. And yet I feel this encroachment always of the numbers. And I don't know.
Yeah, but I think you can't reduce a person to a number. That is a horrible thing to do, because that is to strip away life from that person, to reduce them to a number. And I feel like when we go from abundance thinking in our reality to scarcity thinking in our reality, and everything has to be practical, everything has to be to answer the question, is it needed? Some things are not needed. Some things you just want because of the beauty of it. So to be allowed to explore these things, not to be reduced to a number, a practical thing, but to be who you truly are, and explore the plethora of everything here. Because if you reduce people to numbers, as you were saying here, it equals death. It's about practicality, and that's a horrible way to explore physical reality. It might be one fraction of what we're exploring here, but not the way we're supposed to explore this reality. Nature works in abundance. I mean, you can see abundance everywhere. It's only human beings that are creating this notion of that there is a need, that there is a scarcity of anything, because there isn't. There is an abundance of everything. Also, we are always focused on quantity, especially in the Western world. Everything has to grow, everything has to be quantified, there must be quantity of everything. When in truth, what we need to explore is the quality of things, the subtle quality of things. I think Thoreau speaks about the quality of the day.
Yeah.
How can you heighten the quality in your day? That is to talk about what experiences do I want to explore in this day? And you can do that in your own home. You don't need to go outside even. You can heighten the quality of your explorations of the day by being present. That is how you create quality in the world. When you become present, it naturally becomes quality because you are there to explore it. I had this funny experience this morning while I was drinking coffee with my husband and I was in the garden, and I was looking at a rose that was growing just beside me, and we were listening to Eckhart Tolle, and there was such synchronicity in this that it was mind-boggling. I held this rose and I was watching it, and Eckhart Tolle kept talking about something, and then he says, "Why are you looking at that flower?" Because it was in his talk, and I wasn't listening for what he was talking. I just heard the question, "Why are you looking at that flower?" And I was thinking, why am I looking at this flower? And I became very present in it. And then it hit me, I am looking at this flower because I am enjoying the creative, divine force that is manifesting as a rose in my hand. Right now, in this moment, I am looking at this rose manifesting itself in my hand. And it is literally like watching the magician, God, creating this rose in my hand. And it became a very esoteric moment for me where I realized that everything, nature works like as a magician. It's not there and then it's there. This rose wasn't there just a couple of days ago, and now I'm holding it in my hand and it is taking its form in my hand. And I felt like when I was looking at it, I felt the joy from the rose because I looked at it. It was a circle within me, which means that I was fully present to the divine presence in the rose. And that awoke the divine presence in me. And I became one with the rose. And it was
Beautiful.
It was such a beautiful moment. And it just came out of nowhere. So that is what being present, that is how you heighten the quality. It could have been like this. I looked at the rose, oh, it's beautiful. And then I allowed it to be there and continue my day. But do you see the quality that is created when you stay, when you allow time for that exploration to be in its fullest? And I couldn't describe it in words because I was just experiencing it. I'm trying to describe it in words now, and it's not easy. But there is such a beauty in presence because it does create quality. At any moment in your life, you can create more quality in your life. And it has nothing to do with things, nothing to do with acquiring things, getting more stuff. It's about being present with what is in front of you at this moment and finding the divine presence in it.
Right. I don't know. This is not, I mean, what do I?
Yeah, just go ahead.
Well, plant medicine has been a big thing for me, massively healing. I don't think it's for everyone, but for me specifically, it's been a massively healing component of my journey. And one night in the ceremony that I sat in, I heard these words, "Oh, I forgot." And I was like, what did I forget? I mean, I'm like I heard, "Oh, I forgot." And I remember saying, well, what did I forget? And then the answer came that the same molecular compound that makes this microphone makes my body. This is all one.
Yes.
These sacrificed themselves to be the microphone so that I could use this microphone to speak through it to the world. I forgot to thank this. And that is so perhaps wild and outside of what most people think, but it's like the flower.
Mm-hmm.
You witnessed that becoming creation in your hands, and it chose that for that moment for you to honor it. It could have, you could have easily, this body could have easily been the flower. In fact, it probably has been the flower. I mean, the organic nature of this has been something some other time. They say the water we drink has passed through at least 3 human bodies on Earth. There's, I mean, it's such a interesting concept. Like,
yeah, and it remembers. The water has a memory. It brings a memory with it. So it changes the molecular structure of the water, the memory that where it's been and what it's done. This is why water from springs are so tasty, because it is flowing the way it's supposed to flow, not in 90 degrees plumbing. It flows in a vortex the way it's supposed to flow, and the vortex is the Fibonacci spiral all over the again, and it's picking up the energy, and then when it comes into your body, you can feel the energy in your body from that water, because it is communicating with you. It is telling you, look where I have been. This was a beautiful place, and you are now a part of that.
That chokes me up. That is such
I
a,
know.
so
Such a beautiful,
so beautiful.
isn't it? Yes. It's such a beautiful way to see the world, to see it as a connection and a communicating world with you. The rain communicates with you, everything communicates. But we cannot see it because we are not present. The awareness of something gives it life. This is the observer effect. Where your attention goes, energy flows. That's the observer effect. If you look at something, you literally give it life. You honor it with your presence, your time and your space, and it mirrors it back to you. So just looking at everything. I remember being at a walk with with Gregor's sister, her little boy, when he was just 3 years old. And actually, we were walking with 2 of them, both boys, and one is all over the place. He's always somewhere. And the other one is very aware and present. And the one that was very aware and present, he was behind everyone because he was stopping and looking at everything in nature. And then he picked up a little, what is it called when you break off a tree? A branch. Yes. Yes. He picked up the branch and he was looking at it this way. And his mom was like, oh, come on, let's go. And he said, I can't. This branch is speaking to me. And he was standing and saying, this branch is speaking to me. So the entire company, all of us, we had to wait until the branch had spoken so that we could walk. And I loved this because this boy, as a little child, he was so present in the now moment that he literally made us awake by being so present. There was a divine presence in him, and he was picking up things from his path and saying, this talks to me. And I asked him, what does it say? Can't say right now, but it is talking to me. He was so present in this. If we are present, the quality of our lives, of our experiences in life, is heightened to its fullest. And that makes life enjoyable, because that is what we're here to do. It's like the dolphins swimming with the joy. It makes it joyous. I'm almost thinking like maybe we should create something that says, let's dolphin each other to be creative, because it feels like there is this joyous energy in them and this awareness of what they're doing in the now moment that we need to wake up to as human beings. This is why we feel like they are more intelligent than we. I think they're more present than we, and that is what the intelligence is about.
It's so interesting. All this, I always hesitate because I'm like, what do I want to say without, I don't want people to put what I'm about to say into a box. But
Don't be afraid. Just allow
Jesus,
it.
Jesus says, unless you become like a little child, you may not enter the kingdom of heaven. So the Bible says childlikeness
Yes.
is the entry to heavenness. It is one and the same. And here you're talking about this little beautiful soul in perfect harmony with what is. And the world squashes this out.
Yes, it does.
This energy, maybe it's not the world, maybe it's this numbers energy. I don't know what it is, but we are reclaiming. It's this wakening back up to
I think
looking at
it's
the rose, like looking at it, like,
yes.
this is a rose. I looked at my daughter's eyes the other day and I'm like, when did I remember it? Because I really looked at them. I'm like, oh, your eyes are incredible. But usually I just look at their eyes. But like, really look.
Yes. This is the presence that I'm talking about. About the eyes, I have to share this with you because it is such a synchronicity, and you know I'm a sucker for synchronicity. I love synchronicity.
Yes.
Yesterday, our son was at a party, a birthday party, and there was a little dog there called Mack. And this dog loved my son. My son has this beautiful energy, and all animals just come to him everywhere. So this dog wanted to sit with my son, and he took a picture of the dog, a close up with the nose and everything. And then he looked into the picture, and he could see himself in the dog's eyes the picture. Wow. And he sent us this picture, and I was like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. He could see himself in the dog's eyes. It's a symbol of how we should look at other sentient beings, to see ourselves in them. The way you look in your daughter's eyes and you can see her soul and you can see the beauty of it and you can see how beautiful she is, but you are not able to see that unless you acknowledge it within yourself, because you cannot perceive anything that isn't of the same frequency as you.
That's right.
So when you see the beauty in your daughter's eyes, or I see the beauty in this rose, and I see the divinity in it, and this boy speaking to the branch, and my son seeing himself in the dog's eyes, this is the full circle around where you know that the frequency that you have here will be expressed to you on the outside. If you are present to it, it will show you the best possible frequency of you. When you are present, you're vibrating at the highest frequency, which means that you are able to see everything that is of the highest frequency. And the way you were talking about, you cannot enter heaven unless you are childlike. It's about the trust. Children trust that everything is good, that everything is beautiful, that everything is true. Those are the things we need to trust in goodness, in truth, and in beauty, as we spoke about the last Sunday. Unless we trust this, we cannot perceive it. You can't see the beauty in your daughter's eyes unless it comes from you. It's the same frequency. You must be open to it. You must be present to it. And that is quality. If that isn't quality, I don't know what quality is. Right?
The rose, the eyes, the dog, the picture, it's.
But you know what? There's another thing going on here where I feel like we have lost we have lost patience. You know, the patience to allow things to evolve in their own time. As like when I look at the rose, I could hurry and say, oh, and then just leave, or I could give myself that time, have the patience to allow this to evolve into this beautiful experience. But I need to have patience. We have no patience anymore. Patience, I mean, it is the willingness to give time to manifestation. It is the willingness to give time to the experience. It is the willingness behind. It's easy. You can just say, I am willing to explore this life in a new way. That would bring you into presence. I am willing. It's a mantra. Let's use it. I am willing to be present.
Yes. It's interesting. I have behind me these hand-drawn words: love, joy, peace, long suffering, goodness, gentleness, faith, temperance, meekness. And this word long suffering is how they used to say the word patience. They used to say long suffering. And I think the word suffering is, there's so much negative context to that. But if we can, what is Buddhism says that a desire creates suffering. So if we can stay in that desired place and just be present, patience, maybe patience and presence is something to that P, but to observe is not a bad thing. Is long suffering and patience is a, what do they say? I always heard patience is a virtue. But I'm like, oh, give me a break. But I don't think we're taught it properly. If we were taught it properly, it's like, oh, you can explore the universe in this now moment if you just observe, which is why the monks in the monasteries, wherever around the world, have the candles and they look and just stay present with the flicker and they travel, beautiful. They astral project, they do all sorts of stuff because they're present. And then they're like, it's so interesting. If we have the experience of presence, who can tell us that it's not real? Who can tell that little boy that branches don't communicate? No one.
Because they do.
Yeah, they do, right?
Yes,
they do.
I know. Yeah, but absolutely, it is about the presence and what you explore in that presence. It is your space. It is your life. What you explore in it. Anything. I mean, this can just be a glass, but it can also be a beautiful container of water if I want to see it that way. It can be a practical thing, but it can be a thing of beauty because it is done in such a beautiful way. So it's up to me how I explore it. There is no real truth in this, no objective truth. It's only an experienced truth. And the truth, if you're looking for the real truth in the experienced world, it is always the beauty and love of it. That is where you find the most truth. I was thinking about this when you were talking about desires and how they create suffering. I've actually thought a lot about this, and it's not the desire in itself that creates the suffering. It is the conditions that we put together with the desire.
That's so good. Yeah.
Because if you have a desire, but no conditions, you just say, I would love to explore this. And then you stay in that love and longing and have patience. You might experience it, you might get it, or you might get something even better than that. But it's when we put conditions and we say, I need to explore this, enjoy this desire now or in 2 weeks. And then if it doesn't happen, you're in suffering because why didn't it happen? And it makes you fall asleep. Nothing wrong with desires. You are here to explore your desires, but don't put so much conditions on them. Be present, say, I would love, but then allow it to be what it is, because love is the frequency. And then you are in love all the time.
Right.
You're having a daydream, but you're in love all the time.
That's right. I'm reading the autobiography of a yogi right now, and he, I don't know, forget how to say his name, but he loved God. I mean, just his writings, he was recalling his memories, like, love God. And his brother was more of an analytical mind, and was like, this is foolishness, get a degree, get a job. Father had a good job. And he's like, no, like, there is so much more. And so his brother said, go to the city. Because he said, God can provide me anything. And he said, okay, go to the city, travel by train, take nothing with you, and come back tomorrow. And if you had your needs taken care of, then I will believe you. So he and his buddy set off, and the most amazing things happen. They get invited right away to a dinner. They were taken care of fully. They came back. They had enough money for the train, came back. And his brother converted to from this experience to the yoga experience that he had.
Okay.
And this other book, it reminded me of this other book, and this is all talking about suffering longer conditions or now. This other book I have called Modern Miracles by this old preacher in America in the 1800s. He didn't even he never preached. What he would do is go into a town or outside of a town and he would just pray for the people in that town. And he would fast until something broke in the town. Like people would change, the men would stop beating their wives, children would stop stealing. Like the town like had this revival. And he tells the story that he was in a log, in the hollow of a log, praying for this town, and he got hungry and he hadn't eaten for 3 days. And he asked God, I would love some food right now. And within minutes, these squirrels started coming and breaking open nuts for him. And he started eating the nuts of these squirrels. And it reminded me of the autobiography of a yogi. And all I take from both of those, I mean, I take a lot from that, but is just to be open to, there is so much more available to us if we're open in this present moment without the conditions of now, and just saying, I would love to just explore. That's what it reminded me of when you said that. There's 2 books that I have of these people just saying, universe, show me what you have. And the universe finally said, thank you. I've been waiting for the person to say, show me what you have in here. Look.
Yeah,
So cool.
because it works through you. This is what it is. It works through you. So you have to be of the right frequency when this is, I mean, there is synchronicity in this, and we're talking about trust. You have to trust that everything that is there for you to benefit from it. And your job in this is to find the benefits. How can I benefit from this? How can this expand my consciousness? What do I need to know? It's the same thing. Like when you are, let's say that you're trying to meditate and there's thoughts that are pushing and pressing and you can't get rid of the thoughts, and you try to push them down, you try to expel them, you try to not think of them, and they're just coming back, coming back. And you go, what's wrong with me? Why can't I just relax? There is nothing wrong, because if you look at it, if the universe is working through you, if the universe is there for your benefit and it tries to help you and give you whatever it is that you need, then you are having thoughts that are not yours, and you need to get rid of them, but you can't throw them away. You need to look at them. You need to acknowledge what it is that is there. Ask yourself the question, for instance, what is the belief? What do I need to believe about myself in order to have these thoughts? And if they're not good, then trust me, they are not your thoughts. So why they're pushing, why they're pressing, why they're not allowing you to relax and be open is because it's a barrier, and the universe wants you to break that barrier. So you need to look at the thoughts and say, what is the belief behind this thought? Usually it's a belief that is not yours, and you can discard it, you can release it, you can track it and say, this is not my thought. This is what we do in our course.
Yes.
Key memories.
Yes.
Look at it, release it, and then you can start to open up. You will have thoughts. We always have thoughts, but they won't be as pressing. Certain thoughts come back and press and press and press. And it's not because the universe doesn't love you. It's because the universe wants you to look at it and say, why are you dwelling on these thoughts? You need to release something. Some energy that is bugging you is in the thought. You need to look at the thought because it's not yours. It's not about looking at it, incorporating it, and carrying it for the rest of your life. It's about looking at it, saying, this does not belong to me. It doesn't serve me. It doesn't belong to me. Yes. I release it.
Yes. Bless and release.
So you can be open. Yes. So you can be open and present, because I know some people will say, yes, I'm present, but I have these thoughts and it's pushing and pulling. Look at the thoughts. Maybe that would be our next Sunday talk.
Yeah, I'd love that.
How to look at these negative thoughts that keep coming up and how to discard them, what can you do with them? What are they? Explore, just see where we go with it next Sunday. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that would unlock so many things for so many people. I mean, even my coaching clients, I listen to what they say to themselves and the thoughts that keep running in their head. You the same. And it's like, man, people are stuck. And until we help them say, just look look at it.
Mm.
Don't move. Don't hesitate. Don't
Mm.
squirm. Look at it.
Mm. Yeah, because every time the thoughts pop up, they disturb you in your presence in the now moment. And I know that all the women out there that are watching this, they know what I'm talking about when I say every time you put on makeup in the morning and the thoughts that come at that moment are usually thoughts that want you to pop out of the now moment and go into the future or something in the past that has been bugging you. So it is actually awakening the ego within us. Every single time, if I am not awake while I put on mascara, I feel like my ego pops up and says, here I am. Let me enjoy the day with you. I don't want that. So I need to be very aware and say, what am I doing right now? Well, I'm putting mascara on my eyelids, becoming very mindful, very present in the now moment. Or when you're standing in the shower and you're just standing in the shower and the thoughts just come over you. Right. It's almost like you can't stop them. Right. It is because you're relaxing and becoming aware of it at that moment and saying, no, wait. Just no, wait is enough to begin with.
You're making me want to go meditate right now.
Nice. Let's do that today.
Yeah. That sounds so amazing. This has been so beautiful. This awareness, presence, looking at the
patience.
Patience.
Yes. It's literally becoming more like dolphins or animals that are enjoying reality the way it is. They are not pushing and pulling and tugging like our egos do. Right. They simply know how to find themselves in the now moment. Oh, by the way, I have to share this with you. I was looking at a video of an elephant lady that met one of her keepers. She hasn't met him for a while, and she meets him. And I was shocked because she started speaking with him. She started making sounds when he entered the room or the place where she was. She started making sounds so that he would know that she saw him. Wow. She was interacting with him with her sounds. It was such a crazy moment for me because I was thinking, she can read his mind because animals are telepathic. So she knows, but she also knows that he can't read her mind. So she needs to communicate with him with sound. And that is intelligent beyond measure to understand that. I saw the enormous intelligence in this elephant lady standing there in all her beauty, making sounds so that he will know that she sees him. It's like in Avatar movie, you know, I see you. Yeah. I see you. Right. You. Yeah. Yes. So beautiful, really.
Well, I am going to go meditate after this.
Yes, so you good. Do that.
Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you everyone for watching. We had Rose from Ireland. We had Anne from France. We had Suresh
from India.
Wow. And then MM2, not sure where you're from, but thank you for watching. Thank
you.
Yeah, this is amazing. These are great. I can't wait for next week. It's going to be beautiful.
I can't either. I hope that everyone joins us next week so we can continue our beautiful discussion of awareness and presence and quality of life.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you everyone for watching.
We'll
see you next Sunday, same time on the YouTube.